So does destruction by Titan lizard monster count as a natural disaster? I'm asking because I have to update my property insurance and I would just like some clarification. Ever since I was a young boy, I've always loved Godzilla. And I mean, what's not to love? It's basically a T-Rex with longer arms and the ability to shoot a nuclear ray from its mouth. How cool is that? I'm pretty sure it would be able to hold its own against the Indominus Rex from Jurassic Park. Did I do enough editing to this picture for Universal Studios to not claim copyright? I guess we'll find out. Now, if you've seen enough Godzilla films, you know that at a certain point, they become a bit campy. Son of Godzilla was, fun. Yeah, let's just call it fun. The original Godzilla versus King Kong was awesome and fun. We'll call it awesome and fun. I mean, you got to see two of the greatest monsters duke it out together for supremacy. My nephew still watches these films, I think, at least once a month. It's not a masterpiece, but it doesn't have to be. Now, the original 1954 Gojira was a masterpiece. And I don't know if there's a colorized version of that film, but if there is, do yourself a favor, ignore it. The black and white filming gives it a much more historical feeling, almost as if you're watching an old documentary. This film does have something to say to us, and it does a beautiful job in saying it. But it doesn't do so in a preachy manner. Instead, it shows us through the use of Titan monster chaotic destruction that we are worthy of saving, but that we do need to do some work to save ourselves. Now, I mentioned in my previous video on Titan monsters and the importance of King Kong Skull Island that when these type of films are done well, they invite us to reflect on what we've done to deserve this chaotic destruction, albeit chaotic good, chaotic evil, or even chaotic neutral. However, even though these films tend to invite judgment upon us, this judgment tends to have the positive result of spurring us toward a feeling of collectivism. We learn from these films and we want to make adjustments toward a better existence for all of us. The opposite end of that, however, is that when a Titan monster film is not done well, it tends to create feelings of animosity and resentment. It feeds our most selfish, individualistic selves because it leaves us feeling unworthy of saving. And if you're paying $20 a ticket, plus another $6 on candy and a drink that you snuck into the theater, that's a lot of money to just be told that we suck as a species. You don't need to pay $26 to know that. Now, I bring this up because I thought the 2014 Godzilla film did a magnificent job of integrating just enough humanity that you feel as though we can do more to help each other, and that we should do more to help each other. The lead character, Ford Brody, continues to conduct himself with integrity and humanity, choosing to serve others around him even though he has lost his parents and is constantly worried about his own family. We all want to be that courageous and selfless in a situation like that, even if it's only in our dreams. And this extra bit of humanity is what allows us to not only root for Godzilla, but to root for us, to make us believe that there is such a selflessness in the world. Now, for the most part, the 2014 Godzilla received excellent views. Fans like me certainly enjoyed the flick. It did what it was supposed to do. It reestablished Godzilla as one of the kings of the Titan monster world. It also reconnected Godzilla with his role as a natural protector of the world. He certainly could have done more damage to us if he wanted to, but he didn't. Now, with so many reasons to like the 2014 film, it's no surprise that people were excited about a potential sequel, especially one called Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Now, I'll start by saying something, positive about the film. The monsters themselves were absolutely beautifully rendered on the screen. They were wonderfully updated for 2019, and the sound was really excellent. In fact, I would say it exceeded all of my expectations in this regard. Now, reviews for the film were certainly not glowing. Some people mentioned that they didn't like the acting all that much, although I certainly don't think it was Millie Bobby Brown's fault. I didn't think the acting was really all that bad, nor did I even think the concept was that bad. I think the biggest problem was that it broke the cardinal rule that I spoke about earlier. It left us feeling unworthy of our existence, like we were a lost cause and should probably be exterminated. That feeling can work with some films. It can spark healthy debates and conversations about how we can turn ourselves around, but it doesn't really work with a Titan monster film, and it certainly doesn't work with a Godzilla film. Now, I think much of the hate for the film comes because of the overt climate change theme. This is a legitimate discussion that we need to have as humans. However, the way in which it's portrayed through the movie leaves us with the impression that human beings are, as Agent Smith says in The Matrix, nothing more than a virus that should be exterminated. Now, think about this for a second. If we hold to Agent Smith's belief that we are nothing more than a virus to the Earth, can you already see the problem here with this film? Think for a second about the role that Godzilla usually plays in these films. I'm terrible. Okay, so you give up? Here's the problem. Godzilla protects the natural order of the world. They even mention this in the film. If he's about protecting the Earth and we're the viruses, he probably should go ahead and just wipe us out. He certainly could do so. There's nothing really stopping him. But you can't do that in this film. You can't do that in a Godzilla film. This would place Godzilla's destruction on the path of chaotic evil. He would believe that we are no longer worthy of our existence, and that would make him our clear enemy, not our protector. And that's not how this film franchise set up Godzilla from the beginning. So what do we do with that? Wait for King Kong? I'm pretty sure he's not exactly in love with us either. You see, this is beginning to sound a lot like Aliens vs. Predator. No matter who wins, we lose. And I don't think you want to go full Aliens vs. Predator. That has its own problems that I'll probably talk about in some other video. I think people could have accepted the explicit climate change sort of discussion in the film if it had left us with some sense of positivity, of a feeling of moving toward a collective effort in making things better. After all, environmental impact is essentially how we got Godzilla in the first place. So this franchise is actually tailor-made to discuss this topic. Now, I'm still really excited about the prospect of the King Kong vs. Godzilla film that is supposed to come out in 2021. We hope. However, they can't make this same mistake again. It can't leave us with this same feeling of being unworthy of salvation. If it does, you're likely going to find more people turning away from the Titan monster film franchise. And that would be a really bad thing. We need these films right now. We need to be reminded that we, as a species, are worthy of being protected.